In 50 years, what will people be nostalgic for? I saw an Instagram ad for a pair of earbuds that you have to rent. You don't have the option of just buying them, even if you've paid more than their value in monthly payments. So you could theoretically be forced to pay over $1,000 after enough time and still not own them. And if you just stop paying, they deactivate them remotely. You know, son, when I was your age we didn't have a subscription model to make toasts every morning. We just put bread in and toast would pop out. You had to put bread manually, grandpa? ? Oh yes, but we didn't have to listen to 3 mandatory advertisements. Oh, and one more thing. We could use any bread we want. Holy shit, any bread, and it would still toast them. Yep. The real scary thing about data privacy isn't that everyone can see the pictures you share. I used to work in data seconds. Phones are constantly tracking your location, and not just what store are you at kinda info. It's what exact shelf in the store were you standing in front of. Companies can buy this data in bulk and start putting out more targeted ads based on that information. And I know it sounds crazy, but it goes even deeper than that. If you live with a partner or someone else with a phone, whoever has that data can recognize that 2 devices are regularly in close proximity to each other and start showing both people ads based on each other's profiles. And sure, folks will say it's just ads. It's no big deal, but is it just ads? You can do a lot with the data people share. Anything from creating profiles of political beliefs by location based on people's searches, think, drawing voting district lines with the data, to matching people to known crimes based on their location data giving their proximity to the crime. I understand how tinfoil hat that can sound if you don't know much about tech, but without rigorous data privacy protections built into our legislation, our lack of privacy will only get worse. I needed to give my name, address and email address to go swimming this week. The world's gone mad. I walked out, went home and found out every swimming pool in the area are owned by the same company, so I had to relent in the end as I really wanted to go swimming. Man, I wanted a MySpace so bad, but by the time I was old enough Facebook was the big thing. Never seemed the same. Like MySpace was where your friends' cool older siblings hang out, and Facebook felt like a place where you have to be the version of yourself that you are when your parents are watching you like hawks. My husband, he loves Facebook. He doesn't post a lot. He just loves creeping on the people he knows. When it comes to our son, he wants to be friends with all his friends on FB. He's not, and now that the kid is going to university, my husband is on all the possible school pages. He tries to get me to join, but yeah, no, I am involved in my son's life personally. He lets us in. There is no reason to be all up in everything, but that's what my husband loves. He gets mad when I won't join the pages too. I know if I did, I would be depriving him of his joy of gossiping. This seems interesting to me. I'm from the PNW and we crab for Dungeness here, but our problem is illegal crabbing during off seasons or taking females, juveniles. People will steal the crab out your pots if you leave them out for the day. I couldn't imagine abandoning my pot. Legally we have to write our name and hash on each boy. I went crabbing 3x this year and made it out with 2 Dungeness, whereas years past my pot would be teeming with them. I remember one year before I had a boat, I would throw my pot into the pier and the locals were ruthless with their crabbing. Anything they caught, like dog, shark or starfish, they would hack into bait. If they caught juvenile crabs, they would leave them out to die on the pier so they wouldn't run to their pots. This made me so upset that I would walk around pushing the juvenile crabs back into the water and say, how do you expect to have more crab for next year if you're killing their offspring? People can be heartless when crabbing. My mum speaks about how every winter in the 70s, there would always be massive amounts of snow that would stay around for days. I've only had 2 times in my life where snow has stuck around for a day. The rest of snow days would either never stick to the ground or it'll stick, but it'll melt away within the hour. It's rare that we get snow. My kids' school actually put out a survey to the parents about what to do on a snow day, since e-learning was now an option thanks to it being ironed out during COVID. It was overwhelmingly supported that on a snow day the kids should have an actual snow day. They only go to e-learning on a snow day if the school has used up its allotment of snow days for the year. I don't know how or why. I have a similar problem. I exclusively use Old Spice Swagger deodorant because I started breaking out from every other brand and scent, and the allergy appeared seemingly overnight. I did not have this problem until I was about 28 years old. I even wrote Procter & Gamble to ask them how Swagger was different from their other products, but they wouldn't tell me because of trade secrets. Did send me a few coupons though. I forget the exact details, but I seem to remember in India it took a long time to switch over from old cars with drum brakes, basically because one manufacturer had a car with disc brakes. But what would happen if one type of car could suddenly stop much faster than every other car in India? Total chaos. So those type of changes require a lot of planning. Totally agree, margin for human error is huge. Power revolution is coming in a huge way. Solar is cheaper and more efficient each year, and fusion breakthroughs happen all the time. No one will be nostalgic for nagas or coal-derived power, except maybe the energy barons who are currently deriving wealth in that dismal arena. I sometimes walk through the grocery store and wonder if I'll be telling future kids about what this time of hedonistic excess was. This era where no matter the season, every grocery store was full of every food you would want. How now expensive foods that are difficult to grow in the post-climate change hellscape where once things an average person could have whenever they want. My teen nephew was visiting. He's from a small town and homeschooled, so a bit of a recluse. However, he was recently included into a group chat with his local teens. I could see the pressure to keep up with the in-group or be left behind. It's like being at the right party, but all the time staying in the conversation. And at any point, the group chat could change to exclude someone without any notification. The social pressure and anxiety is extreme, and on the record. He was visiting out of town, so there was a constant string of questions. What are you doing? Adding pressure to everything you do. I'm just visiting my uncle's house isn't very Instagrammable, so he's got to hype it. It seems so connected, but disconnected, and hard. Being a teen is hard, and I'm assuming they'll all figure it out. But it's way different than VR is cool, but in person is better. Just log off, smile, but I think it will be something like that where you must own a device to be always online if you want to hold a job, buy stuff, etc. Like a world society status bracelet. It measures your sugar levels and heart BPMs. It predicts heart attacks. It holds your money. And it tracks your every move. Buy now for only $16.99, not dollar but society good standing points. I'm thinking it's gonna be some Black Mirror type shit where you're physically unable to remove the device, because it's literally implanted on your retina, inside your brain. Imagine being unable to hang up on someone with higher status. Unskippable alarms forcing you to go to work, constant surveillance, completely AI-tailored content, ads you can't look away from, brain, software interfaces drastically increasing transfer speed, allowing you to basically know the answer to everything you think of, etc. This is how everyone felt in 2014, then 2018. then 2020. It's a popularity cycle. In a couple of years we'll get some new YouTubers that will bring in a bunch of new kids and make nostalgic adults come back for a few months, and everybody will remember that Minecraft has always been a thing. It won't last forever to be sure, but currently it's still like top 5 online communities. There's like 1 billion players even if you only consider the ones that participate online somehow. I'm so jealous of people who had this option. I work in the service industry and lockdown was one of the worst times of my life at work. People were mean, the damn rules changed every other day, I had no staff, my bonus and raise were cancelled. It was horrible. I had several meltdowns in the back room at work. But I still miss lockdown cause there was no traffic, literally cut my commute in half. And oh, the sweet feeling of being able to isolate outside of work and not feeling like I was being judged or missing out on anything. That was great. For the middle class it was a blast. My now husband started working from home because of it and he's still doing it. We got so much closer because of this change. We hang out, play tons of games or watch shows or movies during slow periods. During lockdown we would order food twice a day from all sorts of crazy new restaurants and got to explore our culinary city in a way we wouldn't have been able to. It was fun making post-it messages in the windows with everybody else. Just being together, going for walks, and everybody was on the street. All the Zoom games and Zoom hangouts, watching movies. My university classes were online so I could just do zero work until the last week of class, watch all the lectures and submit all the papers and still get an A, sometimes B+ because everything was submitted so late lol. Lockdown was a great time, and God, I miss those empty roads. I work from home, so I still have the biggest benefit still of the lockdown. There was a point where my office returned, but I couldn't due to medical issues, so I went on the enhanced unemployment. It was the best part of a shit time society-wise. Me and my brother would get Thai food every Friday and watch WandaVision. I tried to get into indie game development, stopped when I had to go back to work, and recorded a significant amount of music. Worked out every day, got in decent shape. Seriously, I'm already nostalgic for that. In 50 years, I'll be at that age where I should probably be hanging up my car keys. I've watched older family members resist giving up that freedom, and when they finally do, many times their health and mental state takes a dive because they feel they've lost a big part of their autonomy. I'm actually really looking forward to my generation hopefully not having to worry about that. No need to bother family members for a ride somewhere, no need to be stuck at home. I'll just be able to hop in an automated car and get where I need to be. So while yes, I'll miss the joy of just putting on my favorite music and hitting the open road, at least I'll be able to retain that bit of freedom without needing to drive myself. The time before the internet, I was exiting middle school and going into high school when it became mainstream. In high school I used the internet as a resource for a research paper and got to C because my teacher said it was an unreliable source. The next year as a freshman in college, I went to the library to get all of my resources and again got a C because my teacher told me that I needed to use current information from the internet and that using books from the library that were 10-20 years old were not reliable sources of information. Also, Facebook didn't exist until I was 25 years old.